Hi, my name is Lydia Cole, and I'm a researcher at the University of St Andrews. I'm here to answer your questions about peat, swamps, and all things boggy. This question comes from Liam, who asked, are swamps, bogs, and peatlands in danger of disappearing? If so, why? Liam, sadly, they are in danger of disappearing all over the world. So we find swamps, bogs, and other kinds of peatlands in all all over the world, all sorts of countries. You find them in different forms, but many of them are in danger, are being threatened currently by us, really, and a bit by climate change. So in the UK, which many of you might be familiar with, we have what are called blanket bogs, and you find them in the uplands. So you find them blanketing hillsides mostly. And on those hillsides where you see them, you'll probably see quite a few sheep. Many of those blanket bogs have been drained in order to make them better places for sheep to graze, and or make them available otherwise for agriculture. So when we drain a peatland, we prevent water from being held in that environment. So we don't have that waterlogging essential component of a peatland. When it's not waterlogged, then oxygen can get in, and the peat, all of the carbon that is stored in the peat, starts to decompose and is released into the atmosphere. So, a reason why they're disappearing in the UK is because of drainage, mostly for agriculture. We also grow a lot of crops in our lowland peatlands, so in East Anglia, where you find lots of low lying bogs and fens. Um, a lot of those areas have been drained, and we're now trying to grow lettuces and other kinds of fruit and vegetables in those in what were peatlands. And if you go to visit them, you'll see that it's a very deep, rich brown soil, which suggests there was peat, but that it's decomposing now. In the tropics, we also are draining a lot of peatlands, so draining a lot of swamps. In Southeast Asia, for example, we're draining a lot of swamps in order to plant oil palm. Oil palm is the species of palm that produces palm oil. I'm sure lots of you have heard of palm oil. It's in peanut butter, it's probably in your cereal, in your biscuits, in your ice cream, in your shampoo, in all sorts of things. It's found in about 50% of all of the products that we find on supermarket shelves. Palm oil. So palm oil grows from these oil palms that grow in a lot of drained peatlands, especially in Indonesia and Malaysia. But we're also finding drained peatlands now across Central Africa and other parts of the tropics, also a little bit in South America, though there's a lot less oil palm grown there at the moment, especially on peatlands. Other reasons why peatlands are disappearing is because we're draining them and we're turning them into roads or building houses on them. Lots of different uses that mean that they're not waterlogged anymore. You don't have the vegetation on top, and so you don't get this carpet of carbon building up. One other reason why they're disappearing is due to climate change. So, as I mentioned, these peatlands need to stay wet. And if it gets too dry, the peatlands will not be wet. The water on the surface will start to evaporate, and you won't get that anaerobic, that low oxygen environment where decomposition stops or slows down, and you get that carbon carpet building up. So, under climate change, we might see more peatlands get drier, and so carbon not building up anymore. As the peatlands dry out as well, then they're much more likely to burn. All you need is a lit cigarette butt to be dropped on a peatland, and you might create a huge fire that is very difficult to put out. So we have to be very, very careful when we have anything that might cause burning if we're close to peatlands, especially peatlands which have been a bit degraded, so they've been drained or otherwise are drying out.